Welcome back, you guys. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Iron CV, and today I'm here to bring you guys a new video series. Now, reports are suggesting that we are going to be in the market to sign a new striker to act as competition alongside Tammy Abraham. The only question is, though, who exactly are we going to sign? Reports are suggesting that potential moves for Moussa Dembele or Tino Werner might not be happening anymore, so this leaves us in a very difficult situation because we don't understand who we're going to be signing up front. Now, in today's video, I'm here to drop in my 2 cents in regards to 5 key top exciting striking talents that I feel could be the perfect strikers to act as competition alongside Tammy Abraham. I'm going to be speaking about some young exciting talents, some experienced strikers as well as some smart economical deals. In the comment section below, once you finish watching this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, you guys. But before we commence with today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. Use the OneFootball app once you've watched the video to get an understanding on the stats and figures produced by strikers that are being discussed in today's video. Features like this is exactly why I refer to the OneFootball app as the perfect football companion app to have. If you guys have not downloaded it yet, if you want to try it out for yourselves and give it a go, it's free. You'll find a link below in the description below. And without wasting any more time, let's start today's video. And we start with the first striking option, Odsonne Edouard from Celtic. Now, I'm going to keep things very real. Edouard is a baller. You can see it ooze from when he plays. However, I was quite dismissive. And this was due to the weak nature of the Scottish League. Now, I can safely tell you guys that my opinion has been changed. I was basically schooled and I was told, look at how the player dominates in any respective league. And in that sense, you guys, Edouard is on a similar level to a Van Dijk and a Henrik Larsson. Celtic paid a record fee of 9 million to make his loan move permanent from Paris Saint-Germain. And since then, Edouard has rewarded them by producing 27 goals and 19 assists in 45 games this season. That's a combined 46 goal contributions in 45 games. And now you might be wondering, Nini, what in particular makes this player so special? Honestly, what can't the player do? He's made huge strides in just one season. Naturally, he was a little bit inconsistent last season, but since then he's gone on to absolute new heights. He offers an outlet with excellent hold-up play. He plays people in with great through balls, intelligent movement where he's very adept at dropping deeper, withdrawing from the play to bring other people in. You know, he leads the line and he plays his game as a lone striker. But what I've always found so impressive about Edouard is the individual flair and expression that he brings on the field. You know, for me, players like this are forever the best ones, and that's because it takes a certain mental confidence, a certain mental belief in your own game to really treat the game at this level like you're playing a game in the park. Now, what's one amazing thing about the player? Well, this was said by his French under-21 international coach. He said that Edouard has the ability to get the better of teams playing in low blocks. And watching how the player plays, seeing how he uses his excellent close control, flair, skill and technique to create space for himself, this is honestly no surprise. Now, I'm going to continue the praise for the player because he really is a big game player. He's regularly scoring in the European competitions for Celtic, and he scores in the big games as well. And to be honest, Edouard is one of those players that you don't necessarily see too often. He has superior technique, which allows him to score goals that most players can't, and this is always one thing to look for when you're looking to separate levels between strikers. When I see him play, I can't help but think of a more skillful Karim Benzema. Now, already from the Celtic fans' responses online, a lot feel like he's a much better player compared to Moussa Dembele, and stats are showing with the XG for goals and assists that he really is outperforming Dembele in most categories. Edouard plays his game by not relying on pace or physicality. Instead, these are components of his game that complements his exceptional technical prowess. He really looks like a modern day French classic. At 22 years old, 6'2", and having that ice cool, cold-blooded temperament to match, Edouard really could be the best investment to make in this current window. We now move on to the second player on this list, and I'm going to take you guys to the Belgium League because there's currently a young sensation that's taking that league by storm. His name is Jonathan David, and I honestly believe that this guy possesses world-class potential. And this is an ambition the player himself has, to one day become one of the best strikers in Europe. Now, just hearing that line was quite interesting to me because at this point in time, David is mainly operating as an attacking mid in a shadow striker role. However, he has been used as a support striker in a 2 and as a lone striker as well. Now, what exactly is Jonathan David known for? He's known for his explosive pace, which for a very young player, he knows how to utilize and maximize already. He has exceptional 1v1 dribbling ability. He has exceptional reading of the game. Honestly, his movement for a player his age is ridiculous, and it's no surprise why he plays as a shadow striker. He has the perfect timing to make those late arrivals inside the opposition box. He's adept at operating between the lines and in the half spaces. He has a very good shooting technique selection, and this is maximized due to the player knowing how to set his body up before he takes a shot. I personally feel like naturally he is going to progress to become a striker who is able to use his lower center of gravity and close control to hold the ball, and in that sense he would be an amazing counter-attacking threat. And this is mostly due to the intelligent movement and the understanding of how to manipulate space. I'm just applying his game to how we play, and with his timing of the run from when he runs from those withdrawn rolls, I honestly think that he'd be highly effective against low blocks. Now, naturally and rightfully, all of Europe's best club scouts are super excited. The player has spoken about being excited to one day play in the Premier League. And do we have the capability and possibility to make his Premier League dream come true? At this point in time, he's probably the best player in the Belgium League. Jonathan David could be worthwhile investing in right now, while his fee is still low. This way we can utilize our world-class coaching team to build the player that we need for years to come. Now, moving on to the third striking option, I'm now going to speak about Raul Jimenez from Wolverhampton Wanderers. In that sense, he might be a more experienced version of a Tammy Abraham, and Jimenez has really worked hard to get to his current level. Back during his Atleti days, I honestly thought that he just wasn't ready for that level because I saw him play back then, but since then he's worked his way up, showing decent form at Benfica. However, he wasn't necessarily lighting the world on fire. In comes Nuno, and Nuno is proving to be one of the best coaches at maximizing the potential and the abilities of players he signs. And it comes down to one thing I constantly say all the time: sign players that suit your tactics, your system, and how you play. And if you do that, you're going to allow these guys to perform at their most confident best. And once that happens, well, that's when the magic really starts to happen. Jimenez, at 29 years old, is proving to be one of the most all-rounded Premier League strikers at this point in time. He holds the ball up very well, he runs the channels very well as well, providing a counter-attacking threat. He can shoot with both feet, and he has world-class aerial presence. At this point in time, I think there's a strong argument to make that he's the best striker with the best heading ability in the Premier League right now. And for a team like us that's constantly bombarding our opponents with crosses inside their box, well, Jimenez could really have a field day if he was to sign for us. Jimenez is proving to be a big name player, really being a particular thorn in the side against Man City, and he's showing at 29 years old that he's fully developed his game. Now, the real question is, would the financials for this deal really make any sense? Wolves spent 38 million to make his loan move a permanent, and selling their best striker is naturally going to come at a premium. And analysing things from a purely business point of view, is Jimenez worth it? Now, he is an all-round number 9 striker, but does he necessarily have many world-class attributes apart from his heading ability? Is he a striker that's guaranteeing you 20 to 25 goals per season? And when you consider that he will come at a premium, he might cost 50, 60, even 70 million pounds. Well, is that money worth investing in for a competition striker to fight against Tammy? Who knows? Maybe the fact that Jimenez is a proven Premier League striker could justify that outlay. Regardless though, you guys, Jimenez has shown himself to be one of the most difficult marksmen in the Premier League right now. We now move on to the fourth striker on this list, and I'm now going to speak about Marcus Thuram from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now, Marcus has traditionally played as a left winger who operates as an inside forward. But since Marcus has signed for BMG, he has shown that he does possess the capabilities to play as an out-and-out striker. Now, his game time has been stretched this season, mainly playing down the left flank and up front as well. But Thuram has shown that he can progress playing as a striker, and for me, he should model his game off Aubameyang because there are so many similarities from when Aubameyang was young and Marcus Thuram currently. Marcus has great lateral movement, great diagonal runs, he has great timing of his runs as well, and of course, being 6'4", his frame really is a massive advantage, and naturally he does win a high percentage of his duels and his aerial duels, so there's definitely the ingredients in this striker for him to become an exciting, potentially world-class striker in the not too distant future. Now, when Marcus plays, he likes to drift to the left side flank, which gives him more opportunities to go 1v1 against his man. Thuram really likes to play in space, which could be great for us on the transition. However, of course, you don't necessarily get all that space when you're playing against teams that are parking the bus. Now, one amazing component of Thuram's game is how he uses his frame. He's very difficult for defenders to mark, and Thuram is really good at holding the ball and then spinning his man. His hold-up play is used a lot by Rose, either on the ball or aerially, and Thuram has the technique to match. He has enough moldable attributes. His defensive game, however, needs a lot of improving, as we need someone that can lead the line and start the press in the first phase. And naturally, his overall game could be fine-tuned even more. However, he's very exciting. He's shown considerable improvement since he signed from France last season, and tactically, Rose and Lampard are of the same nature. Now, of course, playing as a lone striker for us is different to his current tactical role at Gladbach. However, I believe that if he was signed, he really could be developed to become a world-class poacher who has top dribbling abilities, a huge frame to go with, who has the dribbling abilities and the imposing frame that could elevate him amongst his peers. And now, we end things with the final striker on this list. He's a name that I'm sure that you guys are very familiar with. It's none other than Aubameyang from Arsenal. Now, as an Arsenal fan, you're most likely scratching your head because you honestly cannot believe that one of your very best players is in that same contractual situation where they're in their final year and no renewal is on the menu. Oba has carried Arsenal time and time again ever since he signed, and he is easily one of the best strikers in the Premier League. For me, he is a better version of Timo Werner, and this is naturally due to his experience and his big game temperament. Now, due to being in his final year, Aubameyang won't be available for much money, with reports suggesting that Arsenal may be forced to sell him for up to £30 million. And this all comes down to the fact that Oba is most likely not renewing his contract with Arsenal. There could be one big stumbling block in potentially signing Aubameyang, and this is due to how much money you have to pay for his wages. Arsenal have reached an impasse due to not being willing to have a match wage parity alongside Mesut Ozil. However, just because Arsenal don't have the footballing and the financial ambitions doesn't mean that we're in the same category, and in that sense, Aubameyang instantly upgrades our striking position. Now, for me, the fact that we were linked with Werner implies that Lampard does have a tactical role in which Aubameyang could easily slot into. Maybe playing as a withdrawn inside forward similar to an Henry could allow him to play alongside Tammy Abraham even, when not occupying the centre forward spot. Now, Aubameyang is world class because he perfectly uses his pace. He's a master of the blind runs and behinds, where he withdraws his position against a marker before accelerating right in front of him. He does have one small weakness for Arsenal, but I don't think that this will apply with us, and that's the fact that when Arsenal aren't on the ball, then maybe his involvement in the game is quite minimal. However, with a team like us who's constantly the one setting the precedent whenever we're playing against teams, I honestly feel like this is going to be dramatically reduced if he was to sign for us. Aubameyang is a world-class poacher, however, are his wage demands worth it, especially in the current pandemic climate? If he earned over 250k per week, his wages stretch over his contract length become extremely high. But maybe you guys, to get success, we need to bite the bullet so we match our finances with our footballing ambitions. This brings an end to today's video. In the comments below, you guys, give me your thoughts and opinions. What are you thinking? What impressions did you get watching today's video? Did you like the 5 striking talents that, I put forward on the menu? Do you feel like they have the ability, the mental strength, the talent to one day represent this club? Make sure you guys comment below to let me know. Remember to smash that like button and dislike if you don't like today's video so I can get the feedback and improve for next time. And on that point, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm MiniFC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll see you guys later for some more videos.